Welcome to Your Strategic Partner podcast, where we give entrepreneurs the secrets, strategies, and processes to increase brand equity and max out revenue. Let's get into some of our first topics that we wanted to kind of collaborate on today. First and foremost, Labor Day weekend means not only the end of summertime, but it also means we're getting back to school season. We're getting back to heavy duty, busy work season. It is certainly for us in the ME universe. We get busy from September usually to about May, and I mean ridiculously busy. Travels are about to begin. New products, new services. We are on the go. But James, I'm sure you would agree with me. There are a few things that, as an entrepreneur and a business operator, we all need to kind of be prepared for, not only from an end user, but also from a business operator. For example, is a business actually staff ready? Are they staffed enough? Are they training their staff enough? Or listening to the entire workforce? Many times, the best feedback is from the people who are actually frustrated from your business, right? Whether they're clients or whether they're work employees or partners. I believe, and I've experienced myself for years, that the most dangerous opinion or feedback is the one that we're not receiving, because that leads for the person to quit or leave or go to another place. Also understanding the families and not only the staff, but their families as well. In other words, you and I have aligned core values. Someone else may see things a little bit differently. And if we understand what that core value really is about, we can cater to them. We can communicate with them clearly. Or tracking health symptoms and risk exposures, whether that's flu season, cold season, or even COVID that's making its way back in a few other states. We got to be able to maneuver it, because let's keep it a buck. We've gone through the crazy pandemic season, and whether we liked it or not, agreed with it or not, it impacted us one way or the other. So we have to be somewhat cautious, aware, and prepared in case somebody in our facility or businesses get sick. Last but not least, I believe we always 100% should interview individuals, no matter what. You got to keep that pipeline full, because sooner or later somebody's going to go for a better opportunity or someone that they are kicking it with. From your experience and mine, which of these kind of resonate with you the most in terms of being ready and staying ready for the busy season? Is it the staffing component? Is it the communication and understanding the staff? Is it the health symptoms that we're about to deal with? What is usually important to you in a busy season post Labor Day?
I would say it's all going to be important. If you're running a business, there's going to be opportunities that arise, and you've got to be able to be prepared to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, school season typically means people's schedules are going to change, right? Especially if they have kids or their teachers. And if you own a business and you service them in any way, you've got to be prepared for those changes. If you own a gym and suddenly these people were coming in at 9 and 10 a.m. classes, and suddenly now you've got 30 people coming to a 5 a.m. class, that's a big change, right? Like, it's going to put extra stress on certain areas. And like you said, one of the hardest things to build is a staff and a team. So getting feedback from them and
Especially
do
if you have an unhappy staff member. I mean, we,
for
we
sure.
talked, what was it, last 2 weeks ago, we went to Angelica's, and, it was a great experience. But then there was a cranky staff member that we were like, what was that about? It could have cost the company or the restaurant, a potential party that
Hmm.
is willing to spend four figures, right?
Hmm.
Or in my experience in recent years, is having somebody who would come in, learn a whole lot from you. And I experienced this from virtual assistants, right? Like the reason I'd say I love virtual assistants. They're amazing, right? Like, shout out to all my virtual assistants. I'm not hating on you. But I would say that the biggest issue that I've always had with virtual assistants, I'll train and train and train, and they're prepared and they're ready, and they're ready to take on the biggest projects that I have. And then I've had clients, dude, clients who would, and I told you about the last one, who would go to that virtual assistant. You are underpaid. You should be paid a lot more. Why don't you come and work for me? So here I am. I've trained this individual to be a superstar, like a dangerous 007 in the business space. that now is going to work with or for someone else. And that's a major loss usually, because it usually takes about 90 days for me to get somebody as prepared as that, right? Um, and that, for me at least, is why I think understanding the individual's core values, understanding what kind of makes them move, what makes them want to stick with you, because different people have different core values, right? Some people value money over time, others value in you. We value time. Like money's good, right? But I want to live my life, and I think personally is understanding the core values that allows you to kind of create a bond with your team without breaking that professional side of things, right? Because comfort sometimes leads to some issues as well, right? Like you're too comfortable with staff. Usually that staff member feels okay with challenging or feels okay to saying, I don't have to show up today, right? And because you're that comfortable. Um, what are your thoughts? Core values or
I mean, everything's always going to constantly change, right? Like, I know for a fact it's happened to me multiple times where I've had coaches when I own the gym. I'd have coaches come in, coach them, teach them, put them on a pedestal, tell them as much about business as possible. But sometimes it creates a hunger and a desire for certain things that I couldn't deliver, right? If they said to me, I want to own my own business, I can't give you mine, and I'm not willing to give you a percent of mine. So you have to continue your journey, right? And at the end of the day, none of us, not many of us in the world, has had the same job since we were 17. There's always been a growth factor.
fact? Yeah.
And, although it was hard to see during the moment of a coach saying, Hey, I'm leaving, and me being like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? I left Jersey Strong, Workout World. I did the same to them, right? Like I learned more and I became hungry and
I can do better.
yeah, it keeps going and you can only do what you can do. And in your mind, I think it's important to have maybe a 1 to 2 year lifespan of each member of staff that you bring on board. And with that mindset, you're always going to be interviewing new people. And at the end of the day, you should be proud of someone that is taking the initiative to continue to grow. It's hard when it affects us in a negative way, but these people are growing because of what we did to educate them. And we can't be afraid to over deliver and over educate because then we're doing ourselves a disservice by saying, oh, let me hold back and not teach them this because what if they leave? They probably are anyway. Just teach them. The more you teach them, the better they'll become. At the end of the day, they'll decide if they're going to stay or if they're going to leave.
Yeah.
And I know you touched on a bunch of different topics, but customer experience is huge. And the thing that a lot of businesses are scared to do is surveys. How is your experience? How is your
Because
meal?
you're opening a can of worms. Like
Yeah.
somebody, if you say, "What do you think?" they're gonna tell you what they think,
Hey, is
even if
the
it's bland.
bathroom clean? No, it's disgusting. Oh my God. Damn. That
But
way.
those are opportunities.
Yeah, it's a chance to say, you know what? If one person says it and it's an anonymous survey,
Mhm.
and they're more comfortable to do an anonymous survey. I know I don't want to give a business feedback if they know who I am, where I live, my face. If it's anonymous, you don't know nothing. I'll tell you straight up exactly what I thought about my
Mhm.
experience. But the thing with Google, it's not anonymous. The thing with Yelp and stuff, your name is on there. So when businesses do these free surveys, it's great. It
Yeah.
gives the people the ability to be super honest, straight up. And obviously some of the things that come up are going to be brushed to the side, right? One might say, "Wow, you're too expensive." Okay, well, that's
Man, I
not
love that, by the way. I
that's
usually say too expensive compared to what?
well, yeah, and then obviously they can compare you to somebody else,
Yeah.
like a tattoo artist. Well, you do this and they do that. You're the same, but you're not. You're different with
Nah.
experience, product,
It's almost
service,
insulting when someone
knowledge.
compares you too, right? Like, I mean, could you imagine somebody compare, "Oh, well, everybody does the same workouts."
Well,
How's that
yeah,
working out for you?
yeah. I mean, it's a personality thing, right? Like every gym, if we're sticking with the gym topic, every gym is gonna do squats, push-ups. Like every gym is gonna do a design of a workout that makes you sweat, that's challenging. That's it. That's what's gonna happen. but it's the individual
that you're working with.
that's the coach that
Yeah.
says, this is wrong for you. Do it this way. You're going to get hurt doing it that way. I don't want you to get hurt.
Because not all bodies are created equal. So somebody's
Yeah.
workout, it doesn't mean it's going to be your workout.
Yeah, and in a small group, it's very tough to, personalize every single exercise because they're not paying for a private session, they're paying for a group. But going back to just business in general, if you ultimately want to make sure that your people are happy,
What do you mean your people?
people that pay you, the people that literally keep.
What do you mean, you people?
The people that keep your lights on, the people that pay your salary, those people that are continuing to support you and your business and your family, you got to ask questions.
Yeah.
They're free surveys. Survey Monkey is just a free survey where you can send your top 8 questions to 50 people, 100 people.
Dude, you are spot on with that one. I mean,
get some
think
feedback.
about if you get 40 out of the 50 as horrible feedback, right? Like those are like, they just did you a solid. I would much rather have 40 people tell me all the bad things in my restaurant than an inspector.
Yeah.
Health inspector would shut me down.
Mhm.
Speaking of health inspectors, what's your take about mold in the gyms?
That's a no-no. That's a fast way to get closed down.
Can I get some context? And they are closed down, by the way, temporarily. I've gotten my wife and I used to go to this gym, and I do the gym 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't like to do anything during daytime. And
it's not the one people are seeing you in right now. Obviously.
No, not where I go now. Yeah, of course.
Those following you on social media are gonna put
two
things together.
No, not where I go now. No, shout out to Jersey Strong. Where I go now, they're clean. They're taking care of us for right now because it's a 24/7 access. So I like that. But no, the gym that I went prior to that, my wife and I, she noticed bubbles on the wall. And I was like, that's wallpaper. And if there's bubbles, there's humidity, right? So we figured out eventually, like, something smells funny, every time we're stretching or working out in a certain area. And then
it wasn't you.
No, it definitely wasn't me. I was looking around, where's James? But it definitely wasn't me. What ended up happening is we kind of come to the assumption, I think this is mold because it smelled like mold, and whatever, it was like a week later, I kind of see a little peel from the wallpaper. So I just kind of peel it off a little more. And I mean, it was ridiculous layers of green and black mold. It was horrible. I mean, vomit horrible. So I pulled it a whole lot out. And, I was like, oh my God. So I went to the front desk to talk about opportunities, right? Like I went softly, like, hey, my guy, can I talk to you? Right. To the manager or whatever he is, or I don't know, maybe he was just cleaning. And he goes like, yeah, I'm like, just so you know, like the wallpaper, like I just pulled it off. He's like, don't worry about it, buddy. We're taking care of it. And I hate it. And I don't say hate enough. The tone that he took with me. And I like, don't worry about it, buddy. Like it was like a belittling kind of tone. So I was like, oh, it's like that. I was like, bro, like you got mold. It was like I said, we got it. Oh, okay. So I mean, that was the immediate decision. I'm like, do me a favor, just cancel me out. Now you would think, in the service-based industry, because the gym is still service. Right? I mean, you own the gym, you would agree with me that. That he would try. Hey, well, can we talk it out? Can I figure out how to make this? Nope, no problem. You're all set. It was just like that. And then I tell my wife, I'm like, oh hell no, like we're not doing this. Blah 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 blah. She goes there just to cancel. I'd like to cancel, and then she figured out that I got charged a cancellation fee. And because I don't ask, my wife is so, she's like, you're not charging me anything. It was like, oh, there's a cancellation fee of like, I don't know, it's like $90 or something. Like, she's like, for mold, because I've been breeding mold in here for the last couple of months and I'm not paying. But he goes like, ma'am, if you have a problem, you can call and check it. Like he just was dismissive and didn't care. Well, my wife did not call. Don't upset my wife, people, because my wife is that woman. She will go all out. She called the health department and she was like, hey, here's where I go. There's mold. The very next day, they had the yellow ribbon tape or whatever. And many people that were going to that gym, we saw them coming across to the other side. Now, just this weekend that passed, I got a call from a regional manager apologizing and whatnot. I was like, listen, I try to just tell the guy, like, I'm not that guy. I don't fight. I just wanted them to know there's a problem, a major one. We're working on it. We want to apologize now. Listen, you know me, I'm a humble guy. I come from humble beginnings, right? So I'm not about money. But if I was in your gym and something that dramatic that could shut you down, that could possibly bring lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I bring it to your attention, you would try to do something. I'm not saying give me thousands of dollars, but you would try to make me feel somewhat
Mm-hmm.
special, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes like, we're going to a refund, and this price may give away the gym. Like, we're going to refund last month, which was $10.
Hey, pay for what you get, right?
Bro, you absolutely get what you pay for. And I was like, actually, you really don't have to, like, you're like, no, we insist. I'm like, I don't think you're getting my drift in here. like, I don't know what kind of people you deal with. Right. We're back to you people. And she goes like, well, I thought at least we can compensate for the last month. I'm like, ma'am, seriously, I just want to move on with my life. I'm already signed up at another gym. I'm good. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need it. But yeah, do the right thing. Talk about customer service.
Yeah,
Do the right thing.
I had a good friend of mine that focused on the 3 A's: appreciation, affection, attention. And if you're giving those three to the people that are your customers, and you can continue to do it consistently, you'll be good.
Yeah.
One of those falls away, you're gonna start to have some problems.
I hear now. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We gotta pay some bills, right? The electricity is due very, very soon, so we're gonna take a little break, pay some dues. When we come back, we're gonna talk about some interesting occurrences that have been taking place. Whether we're gonna talk about the super moon, blue moon, Jupiter moon. I don't know if you know, but like a week straight, we've had like different variations of these moons and what it actually could possibly mean. I don't know if you're superstitious, but I like this topic. We'll be right back. Hi. My name is Ali Mehdaoui, and I have spoken over 500 conferences in 3 languages, including TEDx and many Fortune 100 companies, sold books in 7 countries, and I focus on helping struggling entrepreneurs to leverage social media and the digital space to create brand equity and revenue. Visit me today at winwithali.com and let me show you how we can grow your financial bottom line and help you expand with momentum. We're just covering a few things when it comes to all things back to work, back to school, but we want to change things up a little bit. James, I got a question for you, my man. Are you superstitious, spiritual, miracle worker kind of a mindset? Like, do you see things and you tell, this is a coincidence? Something must mean something else. Are you that kind of guy, or you're pretty much logical?
Definitely not. I like to keep things real. Not that it's not real, but like actual real facts. And I'd rather stay down grounded on earth and like really that's a whole different world. You got people that see psychologists and not
So
psychologists
you
but
don't
more like
think
future tellers that are going to
psychics?
tell you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
psychics, and like speak
So
to people in the
so the idea of manifesting things or numbers or numerology, astrology really doesn't phase
Mm,
you.
no, I mean, you want to get stuff done, you just get shit done.
Damn, it's like that.
It's like you can
Well,
you can think of the future and you can goal set, and I'm not saying don't visualize the life that you want and stuff, but
so you hit on something that's very, very relevant. So I'll give you an example, right? A lot of people think it's a wooism thing, right? Like, and this is, by the way, one of my areas of expertise. So we're about to have a little debate in here because
mhm.
I'm about to make you a
Hey,
believer right now.
show me the
You're
magic.
about to put your hands up and say, "Hallelujah, we are home, baby."
Actually, Ali is
So
now floating. He's
you
not
can't.
even sat on his
I
chair.
am floating. So the word coincidence, for example, and we'll talk about the blue moon, super moon, and all, and what many people perceive it to be. Like, that's a little bit far fetched for me, right? Even for me, right?
That's outer space, yeah.
But check this out. Well, you gotta think that there's something more powerful than us out there. Like, the known universe of human beings is only 5% of the actual universe. So the idea that there is nothing out there, like the full balance of the world, the fact that in your body there's 70% water and the earth itself has 70% water, that can't be just a coincidence, right? The fact that the 4 major atoms in the universe, hydrogen, oxygen, whatever the other 2,
Carbon dioxide.
right? And those 4 are the same main atoms in your body right now for your body to live. It's just a coincidence, right? The Big Bang or Genesis, religion or science, they are coincide, right?
Some are facts, right? Some are literally a fact, and
Absolutely.
some are speculations.
But I'll tell you, I am more in a logical sense, but I study this crap. Like, I am the woo-woo wizard in here, right? So I'll tell you how coincidence is created. And this is why I am a coincidence expert. Like, I create coincidence all the time. And I'll tell you why. think about the concept of a coincidence. It's two irrelevant or completely different occurrences that happen simultaneously, where one seems to have to do with the other, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it could be
Like every
a
action has
gut
a
feeling.
reaction.
Correct. Well, I'll tell you, and I usually love this example of my son, right? Sebastian, he wants his tablet, right? I'm like, when your room is cleaned, when your homework is done, when you finish your breakfast, you can absolutely have your tablet. So, what is the common goal? Sebastian wants the tablet. I want to give him the tablet. That is the incident that we want to happen, right? Now, the co is the co pilot, the assistant force, whether it's a thing or a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the question remains is who is the co, right? Like there is the pilot and the co pilot. So in this case, in my time space reality, in my bubble, I'm the pilot who wants to give the tablet. In his time space reality, he's the pilot who wants to get the tablet. So I am his co-incident creator. He is my co-incident creator. But what is the differentiator? Is that activity that he's not willing to do in the activity that I want him to do. Now, whether you want to think about that as God or universe, right? Like, God, why aren't you giving me the hot red Ferrari? Because God said you need to make sure that you are a good human being and you are responsible and you are doing this, right? All those things. Or whether in my example, a physiological human being with another human being, right? When Sebastian, without even asking me, right, he just wakes up one morning and really thinks about, like, I really want that tablet so bad. And he just gets up, he does his homework, he finishes. And from far away, I see him doing all those things. Guess what I do? I'll just go and grab the tablet. I'm like, hey, my man. He's like, I was just going to ask you. What a coincidence. So that's how the power of a coincidence is created.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge is we're not aware that we have a part to play in that co-creating process. In this case, going back to the logical sense, if you want to get shit done, you just go ahead and get it done.
It's behavior.
And
right?
that is the part that is missing. There's a lot of wooism out there where they're making it seem it's just close your eyes and dream about it, and it's going to float into your hand. Oh, look at that. I got a Subway sandwich. But no, in all sincerity, there are creative components that must happen, that must take place in order for that incident to occur.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are you the pilot or the co-pilot? In this incident, me and you, we want to create a conglomerate empire in this media space. I'm your co-pilot and you're my co-pilot. But is the incident in the same exact frequency and alignment where it's supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen? I might say, like, I want to make $10,000 tomorrow. You may be like, let's take 7 days and figure out how we want to make that. So there's a lack of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the two components need to be created. Now, all this woo-woo craziness that I just told you about comes down to one thing. A lot of people, when they look at, all the things that have happened with the, so 4 days ago, we had the blue moon. You've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was sleeping. I didn't wake up for it, by the way. I'm not that guy. The very next day, there was the bright supermoon. It was so HD. You could see like the little circles in it.
Mm-hmm. Like the craters.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then yesterday, they called it the Jupiter moon. It looked like it had lines like Jupiter.
Wow.
And it was phenomenal. Actually, we were driving back from Great Adventure last night, and we were like fascinated by. And every turn we'll take, it's like there's a fog that would cover it,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll disappear and appear. It was just a magical moment.
Crazy.
It really is. Now, so a lot of people in this crazy psychic world, right? Like, and I have some psychic friends of mine, so I love you. No dig. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing some perspective. They're talking about it means a heightened emotion, intuition, desire, inventiveness, and imagination. It's the best time for you to think big and write down your goals and then go to work for those goals. Like you get clarity of what it is that you want. It's like your inner being, that soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is telling you, here's what you wish for, what you desire, and what you should do in the future. Spiritual leaders, and there's a lot of biblical verses out there in all the Abrahamic books, the Quran, the Torah, and even the Christian Bible. It says it's a time of transformation and spiritual growth as a new world or new phase of the world, right? New chapter is created. Listen, whether you believe in this stuff or not, I like the sound of all of that. I'm an optimistic, hopeful, positive person, and I'm pretty sure you're the same exact way. So here's the $1 million question. Are you ready for some heightened emotion?
Show me the magic.
Are you ready for
That gives it to me.
So I mean, honestly though, do you ever meditate, or are you the kind of person that would sit and reflect sometimes, or like how do you kind of tap into that mindset, that higher power? What do you do? Different people operate differently.
Um, I believe it's important to spend some time with yourself and reflect on your life and what you're hoping to see change. And where our mind goes, our energy flows, right? I don't think it gets any more realer than that.
Yeah.
So, if my mind goes into booking a vacation, chances are a lot of energy is going to go into that, and I'm going to go on vacation somewhere, right? Because it's just where my mindset is going. So I think if you can control your mind, and you're going to control your energy, and I feel like your energy is the most valuable thing you have, because you only have 100% of energy. Each day you get 100% energy, and where you put it, it's completely up to you. You're going to use it no matter what. If you sleep, you're using energy. If you're watching TV, you're using energy. You go to the gym, you're going to use it. And then when you go to bed, that's your day's energy gone. Whether you gave it to good people, bad people, you did good stuff, you did bad stuff, you made mistakes, you succeeded, you achieved a goal, anything, you used your energy in a certain way. So I think if you're in tune with your energy and you can control it however you want it to be controlled, it might never be perfect. And you might say today's going to be amazing and then spill coffee on yourself.
It's
Rich.
still amazing.
It's still amazing.
You know,
It's
it
the
could
first.
it could have been an accident, but you just got coffee on
Yeah.
yourself. Shout out to Rich.
Yeah.
He had that
Rich,
experience
we
coming into
buying
the
him a
studio.
sippy cup, a
Rich,
uh,
our
new
chief
Bobby,
our
Bobby one.
chief production officer. He's got no luck with these cups of coffee, man. Last time he almost like dropped all over the studio, and today he's drinking a happy cup of coffee. It is early morning, everything is great, no traffic, and then he gets cut off one time, and that coffee ends up being his shower
Showered it.
in yeah. So like
Beautiful smelling coffee
he's
in the
delicious
in
right
the
now.
studio
I bet
today.
you give him a hug, you will wake up just from the
Smells
amount
like
of caffeine hug.
smells like a Colombian blend. Nice.
Yeah.
But no, the world is the world, and there's going to be things happen that we can't control, and you're not going to be able to control the world. You can't control other people, that's for sure. All you can do is control you, your energy, your actions, and typically, every action has a reaction. So the things that you do are going to create some type of reaction
Do you
and ripple effect in the world,
do you do you do you believe in the concept of law of attraction?
I believe your vibe attracts your tribe
Well,
for
that's
sure. I
the
mean,
absolute literal meaning of the law of
so
attraction.
I think it still comes down to your mindset and your actions, right? And like if you say, "Oh, this year I'm really hoping to build a strong team and surround myself with better people," and you never interact with anybody, and all you do is lay in bed or play computer games, and then you're like, "Wow, this shit don't work. Like I've got no new people in my life." Well, if you talk to someone that has a really strong, powerful circle of influence, they'll tell you they socialize with people
Mhm.
and they do more events around more
The
people,
power of the mastermind.
right?
Yep,
So
yep.
it's like if you don't know how to get to where you want to be, or you've got to become somebody else to achieve those results, then if you don't know how to become somebody else, then you got to ask. You
Better
got to
ask somebody.
better ask somebody.
Word. I love it
Word.
when you go from like James Blackburn to like, OGJ.
OG 007.
Yeah, you're like, better ask somebody, bro. No, I agree with you. But, one key element that you talked about is the lack of action. Even the word attraction has action in it, right? Like
Hmm.
attract action. So I completely wholeheartedly, and I spoke about this week a couple of times in different mediums. There are a few elements to attract what you want, right? So the very
Hmm.
first one is the powerful desire. The desire is I want it, and it's not just saying it out loud. It's repeatedly believing that you really really want it. As a matter of fact,
And you deserve it.
well, if
You
you
know,
look at you talk about vibration, right? Like there are units of measurements of frequency, right? And if you focus on a thought repeatedly for 68 seconds in a row with no distractions, but with emotion, that's the key word, right? Like if you have true emotions that you are captivating that thought process, right? Like like when you're really desiring that woman or man in your life, or, in your case, or if you are really desiring the woman, dude. I said the woman
Mm-hmm.
in your case.
Mm-hmm.
If you are really desiring, the $1,000,000 or the car or whatever it may be, right? Like whatever you are so like passionately wanting, right? But if there's no emotion, it's irrelevant. For
Mm-hmm.
68 seconds, it starts to manifest. I'll give you a very simple example, which I think you'll resonate with. I want a six pack. If you stand in front of the mirror and you repeatedly keep flexing, your mind starts showing you that you're gonna have those six pack. Like even sometimes, like, oh my god, I got like I do with my wife all the time. I'm like, look, I got the top two, and she goes like, babe, I don't know what you're looking at, But guess what?
I see it.
In my head,
It's like Scuba Steve.
it's right there. She's like, you keep pulling your skin down, relax. I'm like, I know, but it's coming. But what happens is that 68 seconds of powerful, positive desire starts to elevate my whole blood flow, my whole oxygen, my whole mindset. Every show that I watch or things that I read is about, crunches and how to get more, better form to get those six packs and things of that nature. And then after the desire comes the deliberate creation process. That's the action. The deliberate creating process is I get my ass up early in the morning. I eat my first, banana and have water and, get out, even if I hate getting out that early in the morning, going to the gym and doing all the right activities and coming back home as much as I hate it. And I get an ice cold shower and then getting my protein shake, which was recommended by my guy right here. I know a guy, my guy, you are amazing. And then from there, I'm like, okay, now I got to start my day and I got to watch what I'm eating throughout the whole day. Like that's the deliberate creation part that most people are missing. Now, here's the last component, which 99% miss is the law of allowing things to come to you. That's when we say, don't block your blessings. See, many times you hear somebody like, man, I want that hot Bentley. Great. But then I don't want to pay the high price for it, right? Or I don't want to deal with high insurance and I don't want to deal with high oil change and I don't want to deal with, well, that's not allowing the Bentley, because if you want the Bentley, it's going to come with all the things that are coming with it, right? And that's how we operate in life. Man, I got this little bit of money and I want to go ahead and invest it in XRP, for example. But what if? Yeah, that's blocking your blessings. You're not allowing things to happen the way they're supposed to. So just desire it, be deliberate about creating it, and just allow it to happen. And that's been like my little 3 secrets for the last couple of years.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's a very simple process. And if you're failing at one of those steps, you need help. Everyone knows or can write down what a perfect day would look like in their life and then create it, right? A lot of people know what a healthy breakfast is. They can tell you all day. And that's why they say talk is cheap, because it is cheap. It's the action that creates the results. And if you're not willing to put in the time and energy and action, then the goals that you have just need to be changed, right? You could say you want to be the richest person in the world. Okay, find out who it is, what he had to do or she had to do to get to that point, and see if you're willing to do that. If they went to Harvard for 10 years and studied the craziest of things at Harvard, or just have a certain skill set, you've got to learn that and then take that to the next level.
Dude,
and
I
that's
love
the
that.
only way to do it.
And spot on. Everybody asks, well, what's your secret? I gave up like most of my early, 20s. That's my secret, So, but anyways, hey, we're going to take a quick break. And when we do come back, we're going to hit on that XRP and the news that is hitting the markets right now, literally. So we'll be right back. Stick with us.
Peace. Attention entrepreneurs and businesses in the health and fitness industry. Are you ready to skyrocket your growth and increase revenue? In a rapidly evolving market, successfully scaling your business is the key to long-term success. At ME Consulting, we specialize in helping health and fitness businesses like yours unlock their full potential. Our experienced team of experts will work hand in hand with you to develop tailored strategies, leverage cutting-edge marketing techniques, and optimize your operations for maximum profitability. Don't miss this opportunity to accelerate your business in the fitness industry. Visit winwithali.com today to learn more. You heard it first from James Blackburn, your trusted partner for scaling your health and fitness business to new heights.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Show Ali Mehdaoui, James Blackburn in here, and you may have heard XRP is back on the mega news. After about a month and a half, 2 months ago, XRP winning a mega lawsuit that not only got him back on the major exchanges, but then again, for lack of satisfactions, the SEC is saying we're going to appeal what has been ruled, and that took the cost per unit for what nearly has doubled back to around, believe today is about 51 to 55 cents, and it keeps fluctuating. Now, we are not financial advisors, nor we are telling you how to invest. We are simply talking to you about our own personal experiences, and it is definitely newsworthy for all of our friend entrepreneurs, investors who are out there. So, you may or may not know this crypto journey is probably the very first reason that has led me to walk across the streets and recruit into my life the man, the myth, the legend, James Blackburn, Mr. BTC Army. So let me give you some, time, as they say, some timeline on what has happened. Now, obviously, 2 months ago, XRP Ripple had a major win, which drove prices from an average 45 cents all the way at one point to 86 cents per unit. And think about that. I mean, that's nearly double. We've certainly done okay. We were all high-fiving and we're saying, champagne, baby, we all made it. And then in about 2 weeks ago, August 22nd, it has taken a major turn where the crypto lawyer, John Deaton, cited several instances where major crypto players such as Coinbase reached out to the SEC for regulatory clarifications before listing XRP, but did not face any objections. Then on August 24th, attorneys Pascal Guerriere, Richard Best, and Robert McDonald Maui, which, by the way, they were representing the United States SEC in its ongoing lawsuits, guess what? They withdraw from the case. They said, we don't want to represent the SEC anymore, which kind of like gives you an idea and a hint. Like if your own lawyer is like, hey man, like I'm not trying to be on this and this end.
No lawyer wants to lose any
I
cases.
already lost one big one and it's all over the internet.
It's bad for your reputation.
Exactly. So they pulled away. And then in August 25th, XRP's price is down as traders de-risk after Jerome Powell's Hoskin addresses the Jackson Hole. So, by the way, Jerome Powell is the Fed chair, and he said the central bank is prepared to raise rates further if needed, which obviously created a lot of fear in the market, and a lot of people have pulled out, which for those of you who are like, why did it drop? Why did it drop? These are the circumstances that end up making the market uncertain, and a lot of people are scared, especially people who don't invest for long term. Last but not least, September 1st, 2 days ago, lawyers argued the SEC's ground for an appeal was based on dissatisfaction with a July court decision that the XRP token did not largely qualify as a security. Now, for those who don't know, again, I got to say this, we are not financial advisors. We are not telling you how to manage or run your money. Obviously, make sure you talk to a CPA, make sure you talk to your financial advisor, make sure that they are fiduciaries with insurance. We are here just for entertainment and education purposes, sharing with you some of our perspective based on what we do. James, we're going to you, CNBC, live with James Blackburn.
Let's go.
So, you and I obviously we're just, hey, let's see what we could get out of this thing. We're not professional traders. What, from your perspective, what do you speculate? What could you guess that could happen? Again, we're not advising anybody. This is just from your perspective. Why do you think this shenanigans? Why are they going after it so hard repeatedly based on what we've seen on the different social media and platforms? Anything you can educate on?
I mean, I think the government doesn't like to lose any type of control. And if, cryptocurrency as a whole is trying to take some control, if not all control, of the financial world and make it a digital world that doesn't require any type of banks, I think that's a big fear for the government. But it's a battle that cryptocurrency is definitely winning. People that are uneducated in the field can often, lose money, lose hope, and
Yeah.
create that fear, uncertainty, and
The,
doubt about the field as a whole. Um, but you just have to look at cycles. Everything goes in cycles. The stock
100%.
market, the cryptocurrency, real estate, everything's gonna be a cycle. And when the next Bitcoin halving is next year, people are gonna
Everybody's
say,
going to start talking about it
yeah,
again. Bitcoin, baby.
people are gonna say, "Oh my God, I should have bought it in September 2023." And hey, you've got to be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. So
Absolutely. You
when
know
you,
what's interesting to me on what you just said? The United States government is the only government that's really hardcore. Now, I'm not saying the rest of the world is not trying to regulate and get into, the different markets and exchanges and have some control, but the US market is, interestingly enough, Chase Bank, Morgan Stanley, and different organizations are like the mega buyers of crypto. But
Mhm.
then again, they'll go in front of Congress and say, this is not, qualifying to be a security or lack thereof, just to kind of create some scrutiny, which boggles my mind, especially the chair.
Just watch what people do.
Exactly. The
you
chair of
know.
Chase Bank said
hmm
Bitcoin should be illegal. It should be scam. It'll never make it. But guess what's the number one buyer of Bitcoin in the United States bank system? Chase.
hmm
So is it or is it not? Like, help us understand, right?
I mean, the thing is that anybody in power has the ability to move the market. Like Elon Musk can say, Doge to the moon, and you'll see Doge move 10%, right? And they're trying to crack down on that and
Yeah.
not have a celebrity have so much power in his words and move the market to a point where he can jack things up 20%, 30%, 40% in a week. And then guess what happens? People take profits and the price drops. Nothing will
And
ever
some
go
people
up.
get hurt along the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing will ever, go up in a straight line. Unfortunately, there has been a ton of rug pulls and some really, really bad um cases of people just getting crushed. And I got crushed maybe on two different currencies, and I do the research, I
What
follow the right
what's the what's
people.
the worst you've ever lost in overall, like, and if you can share with us, I'll tell you mine. I lost $20,000 in 5 minutes going into the plane.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, that was not smart at all. By the way, I am not bragging. I'm an idiot. I'm just saying, do not do that.
I mean, you have to, the thing with me is I class myself as being pretty smart when it comes to investing
Yeah,
and not putting all of my eggs in one basket and having a diverse portfolio. So, instead of having two different types of cryptocurrencies and I have, 30,000 in each, it would only take one to
to crash.
disappear for me to get crushed, like, very quickly. So, my biggest portfolio uh, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I feel like they're going to be the market dominators for a very, very long time. And then you go into more speculative currencies and crypto investments. And, then I get to 7.5 to 10% in each of those. So if they go crazy, it goes crazy. If they disappear, I'm down 5 to 7%.
Yeah,
If I went all in on one, I'd be out 100%. So what was crazy, my first full year of investing in crypto, my investment doubled. Like I literally went from X to double that in 12 months. And I was like, this is never going down. I'm going to be a multi-millionaire and never work again. Literally, I said to myself, if it hits this number, I'm out. And it was like $5 away from hitting this number. And that was it. It started the bear market. And I saw my portfolio go down to probably a quarter of what it was. And unfortunately, hey, nobody went broke from taking profit.
yeah.
So if you got to have an entry point and an exit point, or you're strictly long term. But if you're long term, don't be surprised if any type
At
of
one point, it drops
yeah,
really scary,
altcoins
dramatically.
went down 85 to 95% down. And that's not that they suck and they're disappearing and they've
Just
got,
the way things are.
it's literally the market,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But if you're in it for the long haul, just keep dollar cost averaging and, you know, get your average cost as low as possible. If you bought Bitcoin at 64,000, then buy two right now. You know, then you bought three for 64.
Yeah.
So then your average cost is,
It's really a mindset, the way how it's the way how you look at things,
yeah,
really all
you've
it
got
comes
to,
down to. And please,
when everyone's afraid, you gotta go,
yeah,
you gotta be okay with, you know, and facing that fear a little bit.
two things. We usually, for our friends, we have a, a circle. We always talk about, don't invest money you can't afford to lose. That's the number one rule for me. Like
Hmm.
like if you're about to put in the market, tell yourself this is gone and I'm never getting it again.
Hmm.
If your mindset's like, I can't have that happen, then you should not invest that money in
Hmm.
the first place,
True.
right?
True that.
Because the market is a trader, not like the trader as in trading. Like it will like betray you. Like in
Hmm.
the worst place, you're like, I could take $1,000 to take care of some bills and whatnot, and then it's like,
And praying to that blue moon is not going to get you that 200% increase in 24
yeah, do
hours.
not count on that blue moon. It ain't gonna happen.
So
Remember,
don't.
deliberate created, my guy.
Yeah.
Deliberate created. Yes, 100%. The second thing is obviously James and I are not financial advisors. We're not telling you what to do with your investments. We're not projecting the market for you. We're just sharing with you our own perspective. In other words, including you in our conversations that we usually have in private. So do things your way. Check with a professional because we are not. Check with a CPA because we are not. Check with a financial advisor because we are not. Check with a fiduciary because we are not. When we come back, hey, do you find yourself scrolling in all crazy reels where you start with one video, next thing you know, you're sending 46 reels for 2 hours in a row to your friend across the house that is living across from you? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. What does that really mean? And how do you actually get your time back into your life? We'll be right back after this break. Hey, Ali Mehdaoui here, the author of The Lion Network Marketer. You may be one of the 47,000 people who have purchased the original book 5 years ago, but today we have recorded the audiobook version. But for every chapter from 2016's launch, we've added a new chapter from 2020. Pick up your copy today at no cost to you in winwithali.com. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Ali here with the ME Show. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you find yourself scrolling like a maniac in the middle of the night or early in the morning and not able to go to sleep? A Harvard 2023 study has shown that 77% of employees use social media while on the clock, many of them for up to several hours a day, with a total of 6,445 US based students and working adults. So through this research, we identify three factors that influences whether people choose to continue viewing photos and videos rather than switch to another activity, and the amount of media the person has already viewed, the similarity of the media they viewed, and the manner of which they actually viewed that media. For example, some of the results that have shown watching 5 videos in a row made 10% more likely to watch an additional music video if they only watched one video. So if you watch one video, you're probably about to drop it off. But if you go for 5 videos in a row, if you're scroll 5 different times, you are part of the 10% chance you're going to watch again and again and again. Now, if there is any interruption, noise, call, notification, text message, etc., it made Reels viewing stop for at least 20 minutes. So put an alarm in your phone, stop watching Reels if you want to get your time back, right? Another thing that we've noticed is being alone early in the morning or late night, laying down in bed or just hanging out in front of your TV made Reel viewings on average per user go to over 1 hour. Think about that for a second. I know you and I both know a little bit about watching Reels for an hour, right? Having a Reels buddy, that's James Blackburn, by the way, having a Reels buddy DMing back and forth, that's called a Reel ping pong, made Reel viewing per user on average, ready for this, go over 2 hours per day. And in some cases, up to 4 hours per day. So for those of you who say, man, I don't got time to do anything, stop watching them Reels. So, James, You and I play
Mhm.
reels, ping
Mhm.
pong often. From what you just heard, do you find yourself in the category of watching more after 5 videos? Do you find yourself an hour? And obviously, we can open our analytics in our phone, and it tells us how much time we spend on social media. But what category do you find yourself in based on this?
I probably send a lot. Like every day. And you know what it is? We love connection.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
everybody loves connection, and you've got different groups of people. Like I have things that I would send to you that I wouldn't send to my
You get
mom.
like a reels
Like
menu.
I got real groups, like actual groups that I'm like ding 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 and then ding 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 ding. So what's crazy is sometimes when I'm sending one, I have to double check the name, because if I send one that I want to send to the wrong person, it would be insane. So uh I think people love connection, people love certain things, and you've got groups that might like sports, and then you've got groups that want uh just something funny about, someone getting hurt, or the drunken ones or the bar stools, and there's just so much entertainment on the
What's
internet
his
that
name? The Moroccan soccer player who
oh, your
always
boy,
misses that you keep sending
you
me.
look like him.
Shar or
Oh,
whatever his name.
Shum Shum.
Whatever his name
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah.
This guy keeps missing like open shots, and he would send it to me like, "This is how you play FIFA." It's terrible.
Uh,
But yeah, no,
but it's
I
entertaining, and I think that if it's affecting your life in a negative way, like it's taking you away from time with your kids, or it's affecting your mood, and it's affecting your life, where you feel like you're not getting all of the things done that you need to do, and maybe you do reels instead of going to the gym, that's a problem, right? That's an issue. Or you know y- your life starts to change in a negative way because of the reels. You've got to just check yourself, and put yourself in timeout, and reestablish your ultimate goals, because
eh,
if you're busy, you've got a lot of things going on, and you have a tremendous amount of things in your schedule, you won't be bored, which means you won't be playing on your phone,
yeah,
because you've got too many things to do.
yeah. No,
So,
I totally get it, and I not only agree with it. There are applications that will lock your phone out of social media. By
but
the
people
way,
won't put that on for
yeah,
themselves,
I
because
know
it's like
myself. I
a
wouldn't.
it's like your own prison sentence, right? And it's like
Absolutely.
5 reels a day, and you're like, you see number 6, and you're like, but this is the one. Like, this is literally the best one I've ever seen. And now your phone's like, sorry, not today. And you're like, that's it. What are you gonna do?
Is
It's
it
gonna
is
it
it that bad though that it comes down to that you can't resist an actual real? You know what's crazy though? I find myself subconsciously going back to my phone. Like I'll put the phone away and I'll just get up, get some water or something, and then I'm grabbing the phone and coming right back. And here I am scrolling. I'm like, I just
well,
deliberately said
you
I was
know,
gonna put the phone away and watch this show with my wife.
well, the crazy thing is, we think we're smart, but these social media platforms are way smarter. They
This
they hire
psychiatrists,
they
they know
have they
exactly.
hire people that specialize in
Understanding human behavior.
attention and
Yeah.
addictive
Yeah.
personalities, and creating an addiction to keep you on that platform as much as possible. So they're the smart people. And there's a lot of people that have left Instagram, left Facebook, because they've seen it's completely
Well, social
it's changed.
dilemma.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's the
watched
one.
it, right? Yeah, Social Dilemma, like actual social media corporate executives, former presidents, and C-level heads of departments, they said, "I deleted the app. I don't use it. That's the biggest problem that we have." And I was like, "Dude, like you were part of creating this platform."
Mhm.
And to your point, just like in anything, too much of anything is usually bad.
Mhm.
And you as long as you have the awareness, like I intentionally put the phone far away when I'm trying to do something with my wife,
Mhm.
watch shows or whatever
Mhm.
the case may be. Sometimes either I or my wife, depending on the day. Like if my wife comes to my MMA classes, she's like giving me all her attention. And here's what I'm like, stories, like take Voya videos for
Mhm.
but she's
Mhm.
like, but I want to be here.
And present.
Correct. And then
Mhm.
if I'm out, like we were out this dude, we've done so much with the kids this week. We've taken them to Encantos. We've
And on
gone
the
to
ferry.
the ferry, Six Flags, all these different activity, and I'm not putting no stories. And guess what my wife would say? hey, like if this was work, you'll be taking stories everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is not work. I want to live this moment.
That's the
So
thing. Like we want everybody, and it has changed tremendously. Like me growing up as a kid, and then into my early 20s, like I didn't care if I posted a picture of my food.
now you gotta bless it.
Now the phone got to eat
he
first.
he holds the phone. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. I want people to see this. Here's we used to pray. Now we hold the phone in the
Yeah,
middle and then pray on the food just like this.
yeah.
I'm like, this is for all my
It's like,
followers.
don't touch the
All
food,
my
don't touch
followers.
it.
Yeah,
Taking the
they're like,
picture,
don't
taking the
touch it. Don't
picture. Oh
don't
my
ruin it
god,
before I take the picture. You're like, dude, I'm trying to eat. No,
yo,
don't ruin it.
we went to Headliner last night, and there was people like literally just putting their phones on the bar, putting them all over the place, and just standing back and like shaking their body parts, and literally just doing it for 10,
Clout.
20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, this is crazy.
You're not
And you've
living.
got you've
Yeah,
got your friends that want to do that, and then you've got your friends like, this is annoying, dude. Like, I just want to eat. I just want to go out and have a drink. It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
You gotta read your crowd.
Maybe you take one selfie, but if you're going out and you're really you want the attention from people that aren't even there
Yeah.
more than the people that are present, that's an issue.
That actually, I agree with you
Like
on that.
that's a huge
See,
issue.
and obviously we went to Boston together. You see what I do. I take mostly videos of my wife because I do know that she would want to be captured in
Yeah.
that outfit and whatnot, and it scores some
Yeah.
points for me. Like I look like a superhero taking videos of
Yeah,
her
yeah.
pictures, and she'll do the same thing for me, right? But I don't, I'm past the idea of, let me show
Not
my,
everybody needs to see everything,
yeah.
right? Like
That I agree with you
it's okay to
100% on.
be
Yeah,
silent. It's okay to not show every single part of your life. Yeah, people want to know about you and check in and make sure you're doing okay. And, I think if you can look back and you can say, I'm proud of what I've done and what I'm doing. And if not, check yourself. Like when you're 70 and whatever, you're going to be like, oh, we really wish I would have posted more pictures of that pizza. No, you probably would have said, "Hey, I wish I would have spent more time with people and put my phone down less." And people know this, but when you're in the moment, it's hard to do
and
it.
and if I can put a word of advice for everybody watching, make sure that at least once a year you download your data. So every social media platform has under your settings, download my data. The
Mhm,
reason that's important, I'll give you an example. My sister Tima, our CMO, she had her accounts, Facebook and Instagram, last year hacked, like stolen. They changed the name and everything else. And the reason is she got it past 10,000. Back then. 10,000 followers meant something, right?
mhm,
And it was all organic. Every view that Mason videos went out, like tens of thousands of views. There are some videos that had millions of views. And what had happened is that account had wedding videos and photos,
oh,
birthdays,
wow.
every
And it
single
wasn't
thing.
stored on the cloud.
Not at all gone. So
Everything's digital now. You don't have those,
this is why if you go to Instagram, Facebook, any platform, you can actually download your data. And what they do, they send you Google Drive folders
oh,
and you
cool.
just save it in your account, right? And God forbid I'm not losing because me and you growing up, there were family albums, right? That you
Albums,
printed
yeah.
or USB or CDs or whatever it may be.
Mhm,
That is no longer something that exists now. So if you are not downloading your data, and God forbid your account is lost, stolen, hacked, and you just lost
mhm,
everything from your life. And it happened to
mhm,
my brother as well.
mhm. Wow.
So download your data, and it literally says download my data right in the actual settings
Yeah,
itself.
cool.
So, any
Good
final
advice.
thoughts as we come in to wrap up today's episode, my guy?
Final thoughts, guys. Hope you had a safe, happy weekend. Plan your week ahead, right? And make sure that if you want to create this life that you're going to be proud of, a life that you know, feel fulfilled and it gives you that sense of happiness, then you got to plan it, you got to execute, and
Do it.
just do what you got to do.
100%. And yours truly, Ali Mehdaoui, first and foremost, so grateful for us as you've been patient with us through our trial period, through our every session that was a pilot session. We are officially on busy season. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a content creator, if you are a community leader, you want to get your voice out there, you want to get your brand out there, make sure you visit winwithali.com. We do have the space if you happen to be in New Jersey where podcast room is available to you, reels room, infomercial room, photo shoot room, presentation room, you name it, you think of it. We got the equipment, we got the space, and we got the strategies to do it. For those of you who want to scale your business to the next level, again, make sure you visit winwithali.com, as we have 90% of what you would desire automated, from content creation, PR, to identifying your brand, identifying your niche, identifying your market strategies, having everything that we have used over the last 16 years and put a whole lot of AI on it, Chat GPT on it, so it becomes a lot faster. What used to take me 90 days to create now is created under 48 hours. You heard it right, under 48 hours. If you need to get press releases out there, credible press releases in Fox, ABC, NBC, and get your face, voice, words, uh, content, website out to the world, and get credibility with it as well, because now you'll be officially as seen, featured in. And of course, it gives you a whole lot of credibility as well within your own peers, because you get to be celebrated. And last but not least, we are looking to partner up with local businesses or virtual businesses for sponsorship opportunities, so you can have a full episode with us. Not only will feature your videos, we'll feature your commercials, we'll put you on our big screen, and of course, we would love to interview you as well. So with that, we love and appreciate you. Shout out to Tima Harden, our CMO. Shout out to Rich Tomes, our CPO. Shout out to James Blackburn. You're truly Ali Mehdaoui. And of course, the women behind it all, our president, the one and only Miss Claudia Maritza Mehdaoui. We love you and appreciate you. And until next time, peace out, everybody.
Peace.